Well, good evening, everybody. Today is, I just checked, August the 25th, 2019. All right. So we have 7 days before the end of the month, counting today. So the month ends on Saturday. Let me check that too. Let me just check my little calendar here. Okay, the last day of the month is Saturday, the 31st. So we have a full week left in the month, which is pretty awesome. That means we have 25% of the month left. So just when you think the month is over, you got 25% left. That is a lot when you think about it, right? So if we were looking at a year, that means, hey, you got 3 months left. So plenty of time to reach some goals that you set for yourself August 1st. And some of these goals you may have set for yourself July 1st, but you didn't get around to doing them in July, so you had to reset them again for August 1st. So what are you determined to do by the end of the month? So I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about the word determined and willpower. And I heard and I wish I could give credit to who it was, but just recently, and they were saying that they were praying for women to come into their unit and on their team that were like specifically praying for women that were motivated, self-motivated, had willpower, and that were determined. Like women with courage, women with some strength, women with some tenacity. They're like, I'm doing this, like confidence, you know? And so I was just thinking about that and how when we set a goal, sometimes we set a goal and we're like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But like really, it's like if you didn't make like a real goal, like a real sure enough goal, if you don't do it, like you cry. Like it's emotional, like you really went for it and you missed it and you actually cried. Okay. And so yeah, Tiffany just texted me, she's from the unlock call, and so that's true, Saturday morning. And so if you set a goal and you miss it and you like it's on the first and you go, oh yeah, what did I say I was going to do? I mean, that really wasn't a goal. It's just something you said just to say it, or maybe your director wanted to hear it, or whatever, your senior wanted to hear it, but you really like weren't full in, like that's really what you're going to do. And then there's goals that I've seen some women make that they are determined to make it. And they're so determined that I don't even have to worry about it because I'm like, oh, they're going to do it. Like they don't need coaxed and babying, whatever else. They are just going to do the goal. And they set it in their mind. So I thought tonight I would talk to you guys just a little bit about determination and willpower. And because in Mary Kay, there's so many things that distract us, isn't it? I mean, like, don't y'all find like you get up in a day and like, then you look and like, it's 4:00 and you're like, what happened? What happened to this day? And you piddle around and it's gone. And then you're like, I'm just ready to go to bed because you know you didn't do what you need to do. And you think tomorrow's another day, right? So I just wanted to, first of all, when I was thinking about doing this, I thought, I'm just going to look up a couple things. So I looked up the word determined. All right, so this is the definition, in case you didn't know it. Having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. Intent on, bent on, set on, dead set on, insistent on, fixed on, resolved on, firm about, committed to. Okay? For example, Alice was determined to be heard, or Helen was a determined little girl. In that way, like that would be like there was resolute, full of determination, unwavering, resolved, decided, adamant, single-minded, firm, unswerving, unswervable, undaunted, fixed, set, intent, and insistent. Do these words sound like any of you? I could go and do the opposite of all these words, but I'm not going to. We're going to keep it on the up and up, right? Okay, having a strong feeling that you're going to do something and that you will not allow anyone or anything to stop you. Not weak, not uncertain. That'd be the opposite. Showing determination to do something. So this is something that I feel like in Mary Kay, that if you really want to meet a goal, and this doesn't have to be like to win the top director trip, although it could be. This could be to have a $1,000 week, or to put Mary Kay on 30 faces in 30 days, or 30 faces in a week. Or it could be just to sell $100, or it could be to get a booking. Okay, it's according to where you are in your business. So I want you to think about what it is that you want and what you're determined to do and not let slide. Okay. So then the other word I want to talk about is willpower, because sometimes we get determined, but then our willpower is weak. And, obviously as women, the biggest thing that we can think about on willpower is dieting. Like you have decided you're not going to have chocolate or you're not going to eat sugar, and then you go to work and someone brings donuts, or it's your mom's birthday and there's a birthday cake or whatever. And then your willpower is shot, or you decide is shot, and you cave and you eat it. So we women, unless you were just born thin and you never have to worry about it, most women in their lives have had some kind of thing with a diet and some kind of thing where you have to have willpower, right? So let's talk about willpower in Mary Kay. Well, first of all, the definition: to control control exerted to do something or restrain impulses. Most of our bad habits are due to laziness or lack of willpower. That's just for example, okay? All right, determination, strength of will, strength of character, firmness of purpose, fixity of purpose, resolution, resolve, resoluteness, purposeful, single-minded, drive, commitment, dedication, tenacity, tenaciousness, staying power, backbone, spine, self-control, self-restraint, self-discipline, self-mastery, stickability, stick-to-itness. It took every ounce of willpower she possessed not to give in. Okay, that's willpower. And so let's talk about being determined and why that's important and why willpower is important. So being determined, a major benefit of being determined is that you achieve what you set out to do. And if it's a good goal, which in Mary Kay, I'm assuming you're setting good goals, you're going to reap the benefits of that achievement. Other people usually can have a positive opinion of you when you are very determined and you reach the goal. A person who's steadfast and determined to achieve an honorable goal is admired as someone with a good character. So willpower, why is that important? The stronger your motivation for doing a certain thing increases your willpower and stops any destructive behavior or helps you overcome demanding challenges. Sleeping is important to our body as well as to our willpower. Sleep deprivation impairs how our body and brain use energy. So, and then is willpower the key to your success? Successful people strive no matter what they feel. No matter what they feel by applying their will to overcome apathy, doubt, or fear. So anyway, that's a lot of reading. You're like, okay, it's boring when you read. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I found 15 ways to increase and boost your willpower and determination. And then we're going to apply it to Mary Kay, because I know a lot of you, and a lot of us, and myself included, I'm determined to do something in Mary Kay or have a real goal. But then something in your brain just lets it slide sometime. And I know we don't want to do that. And like ladies that call in on like a call like this, usually you're someone that either you're just a very supportive person for your sales director, or like for me, or you really want to improve and you really have a goal and you feel like maybe something you hear would be something that you could use this week to keep you going. Okay. And so you're trying to feed your mind with positive things. All right. So I feel like probably if you're listening to this call, then you got something in you that you want to accomplish. It's something in you that you have determined to do. And you are looking for that willpower and motivation to keep going, right? When you might not feel like it. So, these top 15 things I think are so great. Willpower is the motivation to apply free will in our lives. It's the motivation to assert ourselves even when there's opposition and obstacles in our way, which really, if you're living, that's what happens, right? And when you have lofty goals, you got to have willpower and determination. Both of the qualities are required if you want to get a major change in your life. However, they require constant energy. if you don't keep them up, you run the risk of not achieving the goals. So here are 15 ways. So you can jot them down. And some of these you may think, hey, I got that. That's good. I'm doing that. And some you're like, I haven't thought about that. Maybe I'm going to work that in. So for me, myself, I'm going to look through these even tonight when I get done. And I'm going to see the places where I think, you know what? I'm going to work on that this week. And I'm going to have what I'm working on, and then I'm going to try to work on my willpower and my determination so that at night when I make a list of what I'm going to do the next morning, then the next morning I use my willpower to work on the list instead of something else, okay? So number one, y'all ready? Make the decision to be determined. You're determined to be determined. Like, just be determined to be determined. A strong, specific decision needs to be made so as to become more determined in anything. This decision indicates your direction. It shows you how to move forward when you encounter challenges on your path. The decision is set in stone. That means it can't be changed. It motivates you through hard times, and it keeps you focused during easy times. As such, determination begins by deciding what you want and sticking to your decision no matter what. And so I was talking to some of my leaders this week, and I told them they wanted to be a DIQ and become a sales director. And I told them to send me a message of why they want that. Send it to me, and send it to me as a Voxer message so that they can also listen to it every day of why they want to do this. What is in it for them? You know, I mean, they're in my unit, and yes, it would help us reach our goal to become a national unit and area, but really what's in it for them? What is the benefit for them to reach this goal? Financially, personally, mentally, whatever. What are they why is this important to them? Okay. And so you got to make that decision of exactly what you want first, which would be, like for them, it was to be a sales director. And so for you, what is that one thing that you're determined that you are going to do? And I want you to pick a short-term goal, okay? And then number two is discover your why. Willpower is fueled by emotion. And so if you have no emotion in the game, you have no reason, then it's like, whatever. That's not that big a deal. You know, it's a motivation to keep you going. For you to keep a burning desire, you have to have a strong why behind it. This is your reason for doing what you have chosen to pursue. Ensure that your why is very strong, and it will help you know what to do next. You know, some people, let's draw it to like weight, because, you know, like I say, every woman can talk about weight. Let's say there's a certain weight you want to weigh or a certain shape you want to get in. And your why may be, I'm going to I have a high school reunion and we are going to the beach and I am determined to drop 10 pounds before I go, or to get in better shape, or whatever. Like, you have a real why, you know, because you want to feel good about yourself when you're in a bathing suit. Okay. Or maybe, you know, I think about Selah has been training. She ran a half a marathon last year, and this year she's training for a marathon. And so, you know, she has a real firm goal, and she knows why she's going for it, and it makes her get up, and even when it's raining, get out there and run, you know? And so it's set in stone. She's already like registered for the marathon, and, you know, she's got her plan. And so with Mary Kay, do you have that in your mind, exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it? Okay. So that's first. So if you end the call and you're like, I just don't know what I want to do. Well, you need to come up with something. You know, call your sales director if she needs to help you, but come up with something. I mean, it could be that you want to be on the National Queen's Court of Sales. And, you know, the National Queen's Court of Sales, your order every month needs to be around $1,667 wholesale. And so double that retail. So you need to be selling about 3,300, you know, retail. And then you just divide that. So, you know, or is it maybe the National Court of Recruiting and or of Sharing, the Court of Sharing. That's 24 qualified team members. So that's just 2 a month. You know, it could be that. It could be, you know, moving and getting your red jacket. You know, you want to get 3 active, get your red jacket, and go from there. It could be sales director. It could be senior director or directors. It could be that you want to, you know, be a future exec, or you want to win a car, the first car, the middle car, you know, or the pink Cadillac. So, I mean, consultants could be a car for you. So kind of think about it, what you want and why you want it. Okay? What you want and why you want it. And it probably needs to be tied to other people too. Because if you have like a goal that like the money is going to also help something else besides yourself, like your family. Maybe I've seen people win a pink Cadillac because they were working to make the money to take their whole family to Disney World. And that's what they knew is they went and got the tickets. They didn't want to just stay at $6, they Motel 6. They wanted to stay on the resort property. And they went ahead and looked and see exactly how much money it is, how much were going to be tickets for the whole week for the whole family. And they budgeted out, the gas or the plane ticket. And that is why. And every single party, they would get up and say, one of the reasons that I'm doing Mary Kay is because I am working to save enough money to take my whole family to Disney World. And we're going to do this, 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 and this. And that's more exciting for people to help you than to say, I'm trying to get my red jacket, because they don't even know what that means. So really think about this, okay? All right. Number three is do not fear. Do not fear. One of the biggest killers of determination is fear. When you're determined to perform at a high level, however, fear interferes with this process and makes you deliver lower results than required. As such, we have to be brave and face our fears to become more determined. Mary Kay always said, face your fears and do it anyway. The death of fear is actually in doing the thing that you fear. So like that's how, if you want to kill the fear and not be afraid of it anymore, is by actually doing that one thing you're afraid of. And is that not the truth? Like, I know the first time I went ziplining and I thought, I don't know if I can do this. But then, I saw some other ladies older than me, and they're like, yeah, we're doing it. And I'm like, all right. And I didn't want to be like the sissy, right? And so I did it. I was so proud of myself. And what's so great is I did it in Florida. And then I had the opportunity, a couple of years later, I went to Maui and for a top director trip, and everybody's going ziplining, and I didn't have that fear anymore because I'd already done it. I killed the fear by doing it. And so other people that had never done it, they were like kind of freaking out a little bit. And I'm like, it's no big deal, And so sometimes your fear may be just doing that first skincare party right by yourself, having 6 people around the table. But you've got crutches in Mary Kay, like the flip chart, and you've got things that you can watch and learn, and you've got placemats to close with. I mean, honestly, you've got every tool you need to do the party. And so really now it's just strengthening yourself, right? So control that fear inside and think, okay, what am I afraid of? I'm just going to do it scared, and I'm going to kill the fear. All right. Number 4, this is big for women. Control your stress. Control your stress. Y'all know on the flip chart, it talks about that 80% of skin aging is not from your birthday. It's from other things. And it goes through the list on the flip chart, and it says, environmental, smog, smoking, and then it says lack of sleep, stress. And when I say those two, lack of sleep and stress, almost every single party, people go, I said, does that affect anybody? They're like, yeah, because you can read it on their face when they have no sleep and they're stressed out, right? There's times in your life that you've been under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress for different reasons that were not under your control, and it shows in your skin, doesn't it? And so let's control your stress. One of the ways to restore willpower is to manage your stress better. As indicated above, willpower is emotional in nature. So when we're stressed, negative emotions are released and your willpower is diminished. As a result, we're unable to perform effectively when our relationship, sport, or profession requires us to. Therefore, to increase this source of strength, we have to manage our stress in such a way that we reduce it. This can be accomplished through a couple things that this particular article that I read suggested is breathing exercises and meditation. So I got this new Apple Watch, and every hour or so, it'll buzz me and want me to stop and breathe. Be honest with you, it's so irritating. And you can either do it or you can hit dismiss, And so most of the time I'm like, dismiss. But the times that I've done it, Blair, it has a little flower. If you don't know, it has a flower and it opens up and you're supposed to breathe in and then the flower closes and you exhale. And you do this for just 1 minute, you know, and it just has you every hour, take a minute and do some breathing exercises. I'm sure all of you that have had children have, you know, when you went to the Lamaze class and stuff and you learned how to breathe, control your breathing if you had this baby. You know, breathing exercises help calm you, right? And, you know, I'm sure you've heard the things about count to 10, you know, before you say anything and when you're really stressed out and just breathe. And so maybe if you're in a very stressful situation, you can think about breathing, right? And then meditation. And I had a class at my Wednesday night class at church on meditation, and they really talked about meditating on things and you're taking some time to think about it, meditate on it, just like when you're reading the Bible, instead of just flip through it just to get done with it. Take some time to read the verse, meditate on the verse, imagine what the Lord was trying to tell you in that verse, and just some quiet time and meditation. So those are some things that you may never do and never think about that could help you manage your stress, okay? Number 5, encourage yourself to stick to your original plan. This is huge. In Mary Kay, I've seen it a million times and I've done it myself. Y'all know, like, the teacher learns the most, right? And it's when you set a goal and then come around the 21st of the month, you are not seeing it happen. So you change the goal and you back it down a little bit. And you go, well, I'm just going to go for this instead. You don't even give it a chance to have, like, to do it. You don't run full out. Or you'll go, or around this time you go, well, you know what? August has been crazy. September, I am going to get on it. September is going to be my month. That's going to be my month, you know? And you quit and you change your goal and you change the time frame and everything, right? So you have to be determined and have that willpower that whatever you set originally that was put in your heart, you know, and if you're a believer, you know, maybe put in your heart by the Lord, the Holy Spirit's telling you to do it, you got to stick with it and you can't give up because you never know. I can't tell you how many things I've won on the very last day, the very last hour, the very last minute of the month by not giving up. It says, according to a study that was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, using phrases of self-affirmation, we talk about this a lot, can help you have more willpower. This is because such phrases help you develop self-control and therefore you're able to stay determined to succeed. This self-control can be applied in sticking to your routine plans and targets. This is a sure way to succeed. And remember we talked about my book last week and I wrote down positive affirmations, you know, with the alphabet, you know, I am blessed, I am courageous, I'm determined, you know, I am eager, I'm enthusiastic, you know, and just read them every day, instead of saying, I'm stressed out, I'm tired, I can't book, nobody wants to do anything, everything I do canceled. It's like negative, 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 negative. And you say it and you say it and you say it, and guess what? All that's going to come true. So why don't you say something you'd like to happen instead of the stuff you don't want to happen? And let's stick to what you want to do. So practicing these self-affirmations is going to help you stick to your original plan. Okay? I can do it. I will do it. I must do it. I can, I will, I must. All right? Number 6, get enough sleep. Health providers encourage us to get 8 hours of sleep every night. Many of us get much less than this. It could be due to our job, stress, relationships, or too much entertainment. Doing so depletes our energy, and as a result, our willpower also reduces. So make sure you get enough sleep. This helps you to recharge, refresh yourself. And it is true. When you're tired, how many of y'all, when you're tired, you get grumpy? Or maybe not you, but your husband, right? You know, and like when you're tired, you're not sharp. You're not focused. So you really do have to get enough sleep. And so, you know, what you want to do is kind of think about that, is what time you're going to bed and what time you're getting up, and see if you can, 8 hours, even if you went to bed, like say you have to get up at 6, and, you know, you might want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, right? Or whatever it is. Y'all know, some people don't need a whole 8. I usually get 7, you know, and then I take my nap on Sunday and I catch up. But anyway, sleep is important. Number 7, exercise regularly. And you guys all know this, you know, sleep, exercise, diet, right? So I'm just going to zip through it. But exercise is known for good for our bodies, but it's also great for your mind. Determination is a mindset. Exercising regularly increases your capacity for determination. It helps relieve stress and fitness and achieve fitness goals. And this also encourages us to achieve more in life by being determined. And I've seen this a number of times where you just have a good walk. And, really, you can ask doctors, you don't have to be training for a marathon. It can be 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Just something. And that's another thing on these blessed watches that counts your steps, and it wants you to walk like 10,000 steps a day to have a goal for how many steps you're going to do. And so move more, right? And moving is going to help you with your endorphins as well, which makes you more encouraged, makes you feel like you can do more, okay? Number 8, improve your nutrition. Y'all have always heard you are what you eat. It's both for mental and physical performance. You know what a balanced diet is. And, it's according to what, if you're on some keto or something else, but normally you're going to eat some fruit, vegetables, starch, and protein. And this fuels your body and it fuels your mind too. And it also releases endorphins in your body when you eat well. And those hormones make you feel good. And it fills you with positive emotions, which helps your willpower. Right? And it helps you be more determined. Okay, number 9, postpone irrelevant activities to maintain focus on the relevant one. And it says, interestingly, postponing them, not saying you're not going to do them at all, but just postponing them can actually help you. This activity helps you overcome negative thoughts like bad habits and addictions by telling yourself, not now, later. You can gradually generate the determination to finally maybe kick the bad habits or the bad influence for good. For example, let's say you want to make some booking calls, but before Mary Kay, you always watch some particular program on TV, from 7 to 8 o'clock. And so instead of just saying, I'm never watching it again, you go, you know what? I'm going to watch it later. I'm going to, DVR it or whatever, record it, and I'll watch it later. So it's not, you can't watch it all, you just watch it later, right? And they say that's not a negative thing. It's like, okay, well, I can just do it later, all right? And so if you have some things that are negative or that are getting in your way of your success and, just time wasters, instead of saying you're not going to do it at all, just postpone it for later. And then later you may go, I don't even want to do that anymore, okay? So it's one of the biggest, let's see. Okay, so the next one, number 10, is delayed gratification contributes positively to your effort. The practice of delayed gratification, where you decide to delay your reward until you achieve something. You can reward yourself with a little treat. We practice this on children a lot, right? Clean your room, they'll go get some ice cream. Okay? And so in Mary Kay, you may have to do this to yourself. It works. You may say, I'm going to get 10 booking attempts. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to check Facebook or whatever you like to do. Call your girlfriend. Delay your gratification. Make yourself do the things that will promote your business and promote and get your goals. Then treat yourself a little reward. Get your nails done, whatever you need to do. Maybe you live and you have a swimming pool and it's beautiful outside. I used to have a pool. Now I just look out there and go, where's my pool, Brad? Get me a pool. But maybe you have a swimming pool. And I used to look out there and I would think, man, I just love to be floating in that pool right now. So then I would say to myself, you have a goal. So you go, and I'd have a list of how many people I wanted to call and bookings I wanted to get. I'm like, once you finish this, you can go do that. And so you can piddle around, and it's going to take you 4 hours, or you can sit there and do it. And then you can reward yourself. And it worked so good for me because I really wanted to go late in a float, right? So you may have to treat yourself like a 5-year-old little girl and treat yourself, trick yourself and treat yourself, right? Okay, number 11, give yourself some breaks so as to maintain willpower and energy. Willpower is very much like a muscle. You have to exercise it regularly as to grow stronger. However, there's always a possibility of over-exercising it. Maintaining willpower through self-control for long periods of time is great. However, give yourself a break every now and then. Okay, I think in Mary Kay, this is not a big problem. I think we give ourselves lots of breaks. But let's just say you are really, going, and you actually are doing a party every single night. You're double booking. You're going. Honestly, you could get burned out. So, what you might want to do is, take a night if you're working in that capacity, which most of you are not, but if you were, then take yourself a break and go to the movie, or do whatever, have something, or you may just take a weekend off. Say, my goal is to do, 20 parties, and once I do them, I'm going to take a weekend off and go to the beach or whatever, and have a little break. And then don't do Mary Kay while you're doing that. Just totally be with your family or your friends or your husband or whatever, or your kids, and have a good time. You're not going to be guilty because this is how you're taking your little 2 or 3 day break, right? Okay. Number 12 is imagine yourself being more determined. An interesting quality of our mind is we can actually imagine something and feel it's true. Mary Kay used to say that you just close your eyes, and she said be as vivid as possible and see yourself in that, whatever that next level is. So like for me, if I wanted to close my eyes and imagine myself in the national sales director suit, and imagine myself coming down the stage and then having a big banner that says Cheetah Nation, Colson-Eyre, Cheetah Nation. And then I see my directors all come down on either side. And I'm going to open my eyes now, but when you close your eyes, it's a lot better. You can just see them coming down the stairs. You can see, the number one national coming out to talk to you and greet you. And, Nathan Moore coming out there, and you just feel it and you see it. And in your mind, you go over this success, your end goal all the time. And what will happen is you'll start believing that you're going to make it. You really will. So see yourself in your red jacket, coming into your sales meeting, sitting on the front row. See yourself going to the car dealership, talking to the guy, writing your name, giving him your driver's license to make a copy of it, him handing you the keys, who you're going to invite to the car party. What is your husband going to say when you win that new car? What are your kids going to say? See yourself, having an extra $3,000 in your account this month to give to pay for your family's bills. What is that going to look like in that account when it's, instead of being like minus something, you got money in there, right? So really envision what you want and close your mind, close your eyes, and really imagine it. Imagine you being very determined to get this done, okay? Number 13, fight negative thoughts with positive ones. Our willpower is often hampered by a negative thought. When we have so much to perform in an excellent way, a negative thought emerges out of nowhere and it destroys your strength. To eliminate it, you have to think a positive thought every time a negative one occurs. So, like you may see a lady and you're like, I'm doing it. I'm going out. I'm going to talk to some people today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm determined. I have willpower. I'm doing it. So you get out, you're ready to go, right? And then you see a beautiful woman walking TJ Maxx. And you're like, I'm going to go talk to her. And then out of nowhere, something pops in your mind and goes, she don't want to talk to you. You can embarrass yourself. She's trying to shop. Don't bother her. Okay? Negative, negative, negative. So immediately you got to go, she cannot wait for me to talk to her. In fact, I'm going to give her such a compliment that she is going to thank me for talking to her. Replace it. And, on our unlock call that we had Saturday, Carla Rena, she was talking about like when things come up against her in her business. And she says, she just looks and goes, you know what? She goes, Satan, is that all you got? She goes, that's all you got? I got Jesus. We're way bigger than this. We are way bigger. We don't want, and like, she was just so great when she would say that. She would just turn it around. I'm like, oh no. But really, you got to think about, because negative thoughts do come in all the time to stop you, all the time. So you got to replace it. Instead of thinking she's not going to book, when that comes, go, she's not going to book, go, oh, she's booking. Matter of fact, she's going to recruit. She don't even know it. She don't even know it, but she's fixing to be my new recruit. And so you just have to replace the negative with the positive immediately. Kick it out, right? Because there's always that little devil right there trying to discourage you, all right? Number 14, create positive habits. Whenever we're stressed out, we tend to go back to the habits we have already developed. We tend to go back and do what we used to do. We go right back into the old habits, and that's why some people, when they get out of jail, they go right back to the same thing they were doing. And, 6 weeks or a month, 2 months later, they're right back in jail. They go right back to the old habits, right? So you want to create some positive habits. Good habits can help keep you strong when you're facing challenges. They can keep your determination alive and such, foster them with enthusiasm. So get some good habits in your business, things that you don't have to even think about anymore, that you just get up and do. Like the things Mary Kay suggested all these years, your 6 most important things. You write them on a list every night before you go to bed. You fill out your weekly accomplishment sheet and you track your success, track your numbers. You have a list of how many calls you're going to make a day, how many bookings you want, and it's just what you do. what you do. You don't have to think about it. You just get up and do it, right? And then number 15, the last one, is practice makes perfect. And we like to say perfect practice makes perfect, right? One of the reasons why professional athletes do not fail under pressure is because they practice so much, the sport is second nature. They have complete confidence and determination. And, we've heard it many times that to be a professional, you have to do something 10,000 times. 10,000 times. So when you say, I talked to 2 girls and they said no and I'm ready to quit, I mean, you hadn't even tried, really, 10,000 times, right? So have you done 10,000 facials yet? I probably even haven't done that many. But you know what? That makes you a pro. And they say, like people that are swinging the bat 10,000 times, doing 10,000 layups. And that's what you could do it in your mind. I mean, you could do it without even thinking about it. And so, like, I will say that, like most of the directors on here, all of the directors, we don't have to even think about doing a party. Like, we could do a party. You could wake us up in a dead sleep and go, hey, can you do it? Let's get a skincare class going. And I could go, okay, great. Thank you all for being here. I want to thank Susie for inviting everybody. Let's go around. You've done it so many times. It's just no big deal. All right. So you got to create those positive habits. We already talked about habits, but you got to practice to make perfect, right? And perfect practice. So record yourself. Just know you're not going to be great the first one, but if you do it over and over and over and over and over, you're going to be great. How could you not be, right? Okay. So the last point of this, and I know there's a little bit of reading today, but that's okay. Readers are leaders, right? 2 elements of performance that can take you to the highest level of achievement are determination and willpower. They are intrinsically motivated. And so if you follow some of these steps this week, maybe it could keep you on the right track. So I want your challenge is to think what you set out on August 1st. Maybe go back and look at your notes or your goal sheets. And how can you accomplish those this week in 7 days? Because you can do it. We've seen people join. I have actually personally had someone in my unit join 3 days before the end of the month and get on target for her car and recruit 5 people. So, whatever your goal is, you have time to do it. But you can't be thinking about it. You got to take some action, right? So that's what I got for you guys tonight, is just to really work on your determination and your motivation and your willpower and really get this done. I want someone to come up to me and go, you know what, Cleta? I'm doing this. You can count on me. I'm going to get it done. I might not know exactly how yet, but I'm doing it. I am determined to make this work and mean it. Okay? All right. Let me see. Let's let some of our sales directors say something. So I'm going to just go my marathoner. So, Sayla, well, I had you there. What happened to you? Oh, here we go. Sayla?
Hey.
Hey, I got you.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. And yeah, what a great call. And I will tell you that, I have set goals and hit some of the goals I've set, and I've set more and not hit them. But what I have found is the importance, like you said, of setting the goal and going full out till the end is who you become in the process. And, when you set a goal and you do a little bit each day towards that goal, you are transforming, whether you see that transformation or not. And when you reach the end, hopefully you've hit the goal. But even if you haven't, you are so much stronger and so much further down the road. It is amazing what just setting that goal and being determined can do for you. When I ran that half marathon last year, I was taking care of my mom and she was in the process of dying, but I just still stayed steadfast to the goal. And I was so glad I did, because once I ran the race, just a few months later, she passed away, and the strength that I had acquired going for that goal helped me walk through that process of her passing away. So it's important to set the goal and set it big enough and just keep going, because I do know that even when it looks like you may not reach it, like you said, there, if you keep going, the Lord will bless your efforts, and you can look around and things start falling into place like boom, and you will be at your goal line. So thank you.
Thank you, Selah. Thank you so much. And you guys, I went to a movie yesterday, and it's called Overcomer. It is so good. It's by the same people that did Facing the Giants and some other great movies. I want every single one of you to watch that movie. Every single one of you. Every single one of you need to go watch the movie. And let me know what you think about it. Okay. Jana, you want to unmute yourself? Or here, wait a minute, Jana. Jana. Okay. Go ahead. You do it. I won't.
Okay, there we go. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a lot of times we do a movie night for our Be Achievers and everybody, and so that's our next movie, and so I'm really excited about that. So, okay, that was a fantastic call. Loved everything. In fact, I wrote down some notes, and then once I'd write it down, you would like say it. Like when you said that you can, if you can do it in your sleep. You know, if someone woke you up in the middle of the night, you know, could you book an appointment in the middle of the night out of a sleep? There are some times that I have been at a party and, you know, maybe something devastating had happened and I had to continue on through the party. And, you know, getting really good will serve you well, because you can carry on no matter what. And no one even knows if you're not feeling well or what you're going through. So that's so powerful. And by the way, Selah, I loved hearing about the strength that you gained. And so, you know, that just that determination and perseverance of you going for that. I think for me, one of the things that I feel like is huge in staying determined and that willpower is keeping the goal in front of me, because sometimes it's not even the fact that I'm not willing to do it. It's that I get lackadaisical because I get distracted. You know what I mean? And so, you know, so my thing is like, what do I have to do to not get distracted? You know, I have to form those positive habits and those powerful habits. And I think, you know, that's where I'm at. And one more thing, I heard this in church and it was so good. Like this pastor is phenomenal. And he talked about resisting minimalism. Because sometimes we'll just do enough, you know, like, oh, this is my goal. And you just do enough that maybe you're beating somebody else or you're the maybe number one person in your unit. But why are you wasting your time and not going all out? Why aren't you doing your very best? Why aren't you doing everything that you can do? And so I thought about that and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, it just convicted me totally, because sometimes I think that we settle. And he talked about being in a spin class at one point, and he said he was the only man in there. And he said, you know, he was just trying to get by. And the instructor said, if you're just trying to get by, what are you doing in here? I mean, she was just, and so if we think about that, I think that sometimes we just set the bar here and we're like, I'm just going to do enough to get by. But really, God has created us to be overcomers and to be powerful instead of to live in comfort. We are made to just go all out. And so be determined, be passionate, and be powerful, you guys.
Yes. Amen and amen. Okay. Thank you, Jana. I love that. And, you know, really don't do just the bare minimums. We're going to be overachievers.
Don't waste your time.
Exactly. Okay. Lori?
Hey, everybody. I will second what Cleta said about that being a great movie. We saw it with people with our church this afternoon. And one of the other themes in that movie was about forgiveness. And I think sometimes we have to forgive ourselves for not meeting goals or not sticking with it or getting distracted, maybe more than once or maybe time and time again. And so, I mean, I just thought that the topics for tonight were so appropriate for this season and for this time of the month. You know, on one hand, you could say, we've only got a week left, or we can say, we've got a quarter of the month left. So there's still so much time to reach your goal and do what you want and really play full out. And one of the things that I was thinking of as you were talking about it, and just kind of making that mental shift for willpower and determination to reach a goal is, I think we've said it on here before, that like an airplane takes so much power and energy to get up off the runway. But once it's up there, it's a whole lot less power to sustain it. So once you do these things that Cleta talked about, to to do the things to stick with your goal and reaffirm and keep the vision and all these different steps, then you just keep doing those same things every day, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, because just like the skincare class that you can do in the middle of the night, those other things, they become easier over time if you keep them up. But then when you go for a period of time and not do them, you have to get that gumption back up again and feel that fear and do it again anyway. So do this, but then sustain it and keep it up. And that consistency is what's going to pay off and help you reach all of your seminar goals in addition to your goals for August.
So true. I love that airplane analogy, Lori. That is so true. Okay. Let's see. Valerie, you got anything you want to add?
Okay. Well, I'm sitting in the dark. Sorry. We're on our OHM. Everything was good. The overcoming by going through, like what Selah said, going through your trials and your things and overcoming makes you stronger on the other side, which is true. And I do have to track what I'm doing, or I do get sidetracked too easy. So I make a list of everything every single day, what I need to do. And I have to go back to that list many times during the day because I get sidetracked and pulled apart. And so if you can keep your goal in front of you, like Jana said, keep your goal in front of you to keep you going. Just don't get frustrated. I talked earlier today to my unit about getting frustrated and quitting on their goal. Don't get frustrated and quit. Just keep going. You'll be farther along when, at the end of the month, you'll be further than what you were if you quit. So that's about it.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. All right. Nina, let's see. Hang on. There she is. Nina, you have anything like to add?
Y'all pretty much covered everything. The only thing I like to add is there's a difference in my whole motivation between a want to and a have to. If I have a have to, it's going to get done. A want to, I kind of drag my feet and like, oh, there's plenty of time. My personality is so much of a procrastinator. But if we treat each day like a have to, we'll get so much more accomplished. I'm multitasking as I'm on this call, texting customers because I have a have to goal that I want to accomplish by the end of the month. I'm starting to get sick. I just started texting people. I don't want to talk too long because my throat's already hurting. But there's always a way around whatever obstacle you have. Like if you can't talk, you can text people. If you can't do that, you can find another way to be able to reach your goal. So just keep going until you hit the goal. Tanya, one of the adopted directors in Alabama, she said, set the goal and hit it. Don't just reach for the moon. Hit it every time. Don't think that, oh, that goal is too far. Just keep pushing until you get it done. Because you have to give the Lord something to bless. If you give him something to bless, you'll make it. But if you just wait for, your blessing to fall in your lap, you'll never get it. So as long as you're pushing to get it, you don't ever know how it's going to happen. And you don't have to. Just work and it's going to happen.
So true. So true. I mean, God can't bless us if we don't plant any seeds, right? We got to put something in the ground. How can we grow, right? So thank you, Nina, so much for that. Okay, you guys. Well, thank y'all so much for calling in. And I know we had several more. Some got off a few minutes ago, but I asked everybody to call in tonight for my unit. I said, look, you don't have to say anything. Just get on here. And so I want y'all to encourage your sister consultants just to join in on us. And it does keep you plugged into the unit, to the area, and to our vision and our goal of each one of us having our very best year we have ever had. And so next Sunday night will be September the 1st, you guys. And so we got a lot to do this week, but guess what? With willpower and determination, we can do it. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great last week of the month. All right. And I'm going to end the recording.